Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about Democrat duplicity. Democrats are led by unabashed democidal demagogues driven by the desire to depopulate the planet. The Democrat Party is the party of death. Death by abortion, death by partial abortion, death by infanticide, death by depriving infants of baby food, death by euthanasia, death by demanding involuntary physician-assisted suicide, often of the disabled, death of those in pain, death by mismanagement of nursing homes in New York during the early days of COVID, death through unlawful detention of political prisoners in Washington, D.C., death by dereliction of duty in Afghanistan, death by defenestration, disembowelment, and decapitation, courtesy of ISIS during the days of Democrat rule, death from delay in aiding victims of Hurricane Helene, risk of death from train derailments in places like East Palestine, Ohio, death due to the decriminalization of everything by George Soros-funded lapdogs masquerading around as district attorneys, death from drug abuse and death at the hands of deranged drug dealers, death dealt upon American damsels by derelicts decamped in our city's downtown squares, death through race-based allocation of medical care, death by coerced vaccinations, death by suppression of vaccine side effects, death by disinformation, death by the dispensing of drugs pushed by Big Pharma, and death by deprivation of medicines that Big Pharma decries. Death through despondency, depression, and despair due to prolonged social distancing demanded by Democrats just a few years ago. Democrats discount life and dampen the will to live, as evidenced by the declining birth rate. If the American people were to present an ultimatum to the Democrat Party, give us liberty or give us death, Democrat leadership would give the American people death. Democrats are defamers of our country's dearest founding fathers. Democrats are deniers of the brilliance of our Constitution. They deride America's unique history as they seek to disassociate Americans from the fabric that holds our nation together. Democrats deface historical monuments. They discard posters for the return of Hamas hostages who are either deceased or forced to dwell in dungeons. Democrats are defilers of America's kind and charitable character. Democrats are disloyal to their country and disrespectful of the American flag. They are detonators of the nuclear family. Democrats are desecrators of our faiths, even to the extent of demanding taxpayer subsidization of defecation on our holiest images, supposedly in the name of artistic expression. These doomsday devotees are defrauders through perpetrating the hoaxes of climate change and ESG. Democrats are completely desensitized to the enormous pain they inflict on Americans. With their degenerate, degendering ideology, Democrats deform, disfigure, and dismember all children. Hell, they demand the right to kill their own children, at least up to the moment of delivery. They deposit poisonous thoughts in children's minds and pollute their brains with disorienting drugs. Democrats are deacons of discrimination. They dehumanize individuals by valuing people based on the lowest common denominator, which is the color of their skin. In doing so, they diminish individuality and defoliate individuals of their humanity, as if the populace were nothing more than an undifferentiated mass of Dalmatians. Democrats gratuitously sow divisiveness and disunity throughout our society. They disrupt both civil discourse and commerce. They are disassemblers of law and order. They are denuders of decorum and decadence. Their demeanor is derisive. Democrat demonstrations are held at deafening decibels and assume deadly dimensionality, but they are quick to disband Republicans' peaceful assembly. Democrats are delegators of destruction through their alliances with Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and other darlings of the Democrat Party. They deracinate denizens from dozens of destinations, only to displace American citizens from their dwellings. Democrats are disparagers of America's hard work ethic. They discourage non-diversity hires and are demoters of non-diversity workers. Democrats are dashers of the American dream and dim our children's futures by designing dumbed-down curricula. They are denigrators of success, degraders of our standard of living, diminishers of our purchasing power, disappearers of our deposits, downsizers of our payrolls. Democrats are derailers of our economy and are destabilizers of our financial markets. Democrats are distributors and dispossessors of our wealth. They are despoilers of our national treasure. They devour our taxes. They double tax dividends and seek the disgorgement of unrealized gains. Democrats devalue and dogmatize the dollar, deter deregulation, disenfranchise franchisors, disempower business owners and drain their coffers, all the while being dismissive of the economic destruction they cause. Disciplined, deficient Democrat policymakers are discombobulated and disheveled. Their managerial skills are dysfunctional, as evidenced by multiple train derailments in the Midwest. Whatever Democrats touch is in need of defibrillation. Whatever Democrats are able to produce is defunct, defective, disjointed, and soon dilapidated through disuse and disrepair. Democrat economic policies must be designed to make all of us destitute. Democrats downplay meritocracy, drum up dissension in the workplace, and drive up prices. Democrat-inspired deadlock on our eastern docks is likely to result in dispatching delays and in the delivery of economic demise. Democrats embrace dictator-dependent energy policies, deplete our strategic reserves and our storage shelves. They are decommissioners of nuclear power and decouplers of carbon energy from the electrical grid. They deny permits for domestic energy drilling, but defend extractive policies coming out of the Duma. Democrats are dismantlers of our patent system and demolishers of our borders. Democrats have turned our southern border into a doormat for desperados, with our border patrol relegated to the role of doormen. Democrats detach and tether America from its allies while maintaining their dalliances with despotic regimes. These defeatists are dedicated to declawing and demoralizing our military. They seek to defang our CIA. They insist on disarming law-abiding citizens while they seek to defund the police. However, it is the Democrat Party that should be defunded. The history of the Democrat Party is detestable. Its roots go back to the deportation and detention of Africans who were destined to lives of drudgery. Still today, Democrats prey on the downtrodden by duping them into decades of dependency. Democrats are the true deplorables. The Democrat agenda is currently dictatorial enforced by a daughter douching, which means showering in French, granddaughter disclaiming, double-dipping frontman afflicted with documentable dementia, whose most recent cogent policy position was plagiarized in the 1980s. But Joe Biden didn't destroy our economy and weaken our defenses alone. He recently stated that he deferred, delegated, and deputized all policy decisions to Kamala Harris, someone who proved completely incapable of discharging any such duties. Democrats are in no position to lecture about defending democracy. They disdain press briefings and delude the public by declining debates. Democrats are masters of demonization and distortion. Their discourse is full of demagoguery and dangerous denunciations. Democrat declarations of their debunked delusions is diarrhea-inducing. They seek to institutionalize the dissemination of disinformation. Dissent is squashed by a dossier dealing, deposition deleting, domestic terrorist designating, diary snatching, and double-crossing FBI. Anyone who dares to disagree with Democrat diktats runs the risk of being disconnected, discredited, denounced, deranked, deplatformed, demonetized, doxxed, dismissed from employment, dragooned, and detained. The Justice Department donkeys dropped the detritus of their skullduggery in the public domain during the height of the election season. Democrats dig deep detours through their own primary processes, resulting in the dethronement of their democratically selected Grand Dragon. Democrats can dispute elections, but challengers of Democrat election duplicity are deprived of due process. Democrats disbar lawyers that defend Republicans. They dragoon their opponents into never-ending Dante-esque depositions and discovery during their election season dragnets and threaten them with detainment, in essence, dangling the sword of Damocles over their heads. Democrats are disposers of exculpatory evidence. Democrats designate their political opponents as targets and endanger them by declining to provide them with adequate Secret Service protection. All of these activities should be disqualifiers for holding high office. And all drooling Democrat denials to what I have said are drenched in their own disingenuous drivel. Donald Trump was right when he said, in reality, Democrats are not after me, they are after you. I'm just in the way. This isn't like the good old days when Democrats would just want to take your money and your property. Today, these bastards want the power to take your children away and to achieve democide. If you want to de-risk the threat to democracy, we need to defeat those self-declaring baboon descendant Democrats. We need to campaign against those dime a dozen, decaffeinated, demasculated, dumbbell dropping, bone density decaying, baby food depriving, daiquiri drinking, designer denim donning, private jet deplaning, donut dunking, Doritos digesting, dental care disavowing, dominoes dithering, Halloween decorations doodling, doorbell ditching, disability self-discovering, donation demanding, Supreme Court defying, rule of law disobeying, duty ditching, detox deserving, deity disbelieving, political dirt dredging, disproven Marxist dogma disinterring, Darwin deifying, debate declining, draft dodging, Disneyland deploying, debit card defrauding, debt defaulting, dining and dashing, drag queen dating, devil dancing, disaster relief fund diverting, rescue drone denying, dipstick divining, dolphin sound decoding, dangling Chad deciphering, Dracula doppelganging, diamond discoloring, American voter diluting, detergent disdaining, deodorant deficient, deservedly deportable, depend upon them as Democrats.